Boom, boom, ba da dun 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 dun. We can dance if you want to. We can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friend. I kind of want to just get that song and just start before we ever or start this show from now on.
That's so comic booky.
Well, it's just because our name's Men Without Tights, so, you know, I don't...
It's also a copyrighted song.
Oh, so what? Only if you play like less than 30 seconds, it's fine. That means we're just, you know, it's just a sample. And it's not like we're making money either, so it's not like we're going to be the big ones. Like, hey, you better stop it. So, anyways, welcome, Nick. How are you?
Greetings.
I know. How is the comic universe for you?
Fantabulous.
Apparently, you've been reading some Archie comics. Did you ever read an Archie comic?
I've read a comic from the company, but I never actually read a story about Archie.
Oh, the Archie comics are shit. Like, literally, I mean, I guess it is a comic about some dweeb that goes to a high school and all he does is have high school problems. I say dweeb, but yet he has two girls that somehow want to fuck his ass so badly. And makes no sense to me. But yeah, those comics, I've read those, when I was little. I said read those. I read one when I was little. Even when I was little, I was like, this is kind of boring. Why isn't anyone punching anybody? I don't know. I always liked, as a kid, Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah, well, yeah, everyone likes Calvin and Hobbes.
You know,
if they don't like Calvin and Hobbes, then there's something wrong with them.
You know what's amazing that people like Calvin and Hobbes, especially in our day, is because, like, Calvin and Hobbes was like he wasn't like our generation at all. Like, his problems are not something kids from the 90s and up ever had. Where, like, you know, he didn't know what video games were. He didn't know what, he could only watch, cartoons once in a while. You know, I guess he wasn't like our generation, raised by a TV, you know. It's not something you can relate to, I guess you could say. Which is amazing that as kids we still thought he was awesome. Because, some of the references in that comic, I'm surprised, I never got as a kid. They just, sometimes, Calvin will just go off on this philosophical thing. He kind of reminds me as a young Dustin sometimes. But
more destructive.
More destructive and probably a little bit more psychotic young Dustin. My favorite thing I always saw of Calvin and Hobbes was Robot Chicken. Did you see that one?
I don't believe so.
Okay, and Robot Chicken, they get him the tiger stuffed animal, and his parents are all like weirded out that he's, Calvin sitting there pretending as if Hobbes is real and talking to him. And basically, eventually, Hobbes just looks at him and says, Calvin, your parents don't believe I exist. They must die. And Calvin ends up killing his parents. And then, basically at the end of the little skit, he's in a nut house just like, we're going to the moon. And I thought that was funny. I was like, wow, that's pretty damn close. Cause the kid's like, almost 10 years old in the comic or something. Maybe not. Maybe I'm exaggerating. And,
even that comic technically is still going on, but now, he's all grown up and married to Bacon, and it's about his little daughter talking to Hobbes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Who the hell is Bacon?
It's the girl that they have like an on-off little kid.
Oh, okay.
I hate you, I love you relationship.
Oh yeah, the kid where he thinks, little kids out there like, I think you're cute, gonna bully you.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's ever worked ever. If so, I guess I might want to start trying that sometime. Like, oh, you're sexy, you whore. Oh, wow, she likes me now. Yeah, it was just one of those things. I don't know. I started thinking about comics I used to read as a kid. Actually, you know what I used to read a lot of? Those old World War II comics. Like, I was a big fan. I still kind of like them, even though they're cheesy as hell. But like Sergeant Rock and no, it's not G.I. Joe, but, what's the other one? I can't think of the other one. Yeah, but Sergeant Rock, that literally was, it was about the Easy Company in World War II, but they all had their stereotypical soldiers, like, here's the big guy. We call him Brick or something like that. Here's our token Native American. Now we have fighting the Russians with us. What the hell? And of course you got generic white badass of Sergeant Rock, but, yeah, it always had the same story though. It's just, hey, there's Germans over there. Let's kill them. Da 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 da. Hey, our company was killed.
I did read a few G.I. Joe, but I still say the best thing from G.I. Joe, again, bringing that back up, was the Robot Chicken one.
Which one? They have like a few.
Yeah, the Fumbles one.
The what?
Have you seen the one with Fumbles?
Yeah, that one is awesome. Where that insanely skilled sniper just takes out all the Joes.
Yeah. Well done, Eagle Eye. It's Fumbles. It's always been Fumbles.
I know. They have another one that came out like this last year of the Joes in a real life scenario, like in actual combat, and they're like, they're trying to don't try to shoot your enemy, just injure him, make him go back to the line, because, in the G.I. Joes, no one ever killed anybody. And they're shooting at these suicide bombers, and they're like, what? Come on, injure him, okay, alright, he's injured. And then, basically, that just shows how they get their ass kicked both sides.
Or of course,
Commander.
Cobra Commander ordering food at, a drive-in.
Oh, yeah. My favorite Robot Chicken, oddly enough, though, with the G.I. Joe, was when they just acknowledged that they're all just toys. And they're just getting, they just have some destructive kid just, messing with them the whole time. They're like, what is this? And at the end, they shoot the kid, and then he's like, yo, Joe! And, one of the, I think Blockade is like, yo, Joe, and all that, but I think we just shot a kid. Anyways, comics, yes! Last week on Men Without Tights, God damn it, Men Without Tights, we talked about our favorite Marvel characters and villains and ones we find annoying. Guess what we're gonna do this week there, Nick?
Oh, is it Archie Comics?
Yeah, we're gonna do our favorite Archie character. No, we're gonna talk about Garfield, dumbass. No, we're talking about our favorite DC, because the comic industry really only has two companies, really. I don't know, is there any other companies you can think of? That aren't, owned by Marvel or DC? Because they have Vertigo. I think they're owned by DC, though.
There's a few I know of, yeah.
Yeah. I know, they have Dark Horse, too, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, true, because Dark Horse is the ones that did, Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
Real quick, though, because we did forget talk about this before we get into DC stuff. What do you think of them making that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show?
I'm interested in it. I will definitely watch it. I'm not saying I'm excited for it, but I'll give it a shot.
What about them bringing back that one agent that died in the Avengers? Coulson.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious to see.
I'm curious to see how they bring him back. I mean, I guess you could go with because the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, a lot of them, especially the upper tier guys, they all have androids that are human-like. Nick Fury has assload of androids that look like him. So they might.
And the show does acknowledge the fact that he died.
They do, and yeah, he's going to be in it. So unless I don't know, I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out. Makes me also wonder if they're going to have that chick who plays Maria Hill in the show.
I don't know.
Because she just came from
From what I think, that they'll probably have guest appearances and cameos from those people, and maybe even some of the Avengers, but I'm guessing the show's gonna mainly be low D-level characters.
From what they're saying, they're gonna try to keep the Avengers out of it, though, for the sole fact of, one, budget, and basically budget. Really. Robert Downey Jr., I think he's going to get his luck run out with the whole, every time they make something new with him demanding more money. I think eventually they're going to be like, dude, that's basically the entire budget right there is you. So.
And we'll have to have some low budget, cardboard cutouts on a popsicle stick.
But we'll have Robert Downey. And once he starts doing that, I think they should just end the Iron Man thing, because besides Fing Fam Foom, I don't know who else I would like him to fight, because I guess Crimson Dynamo. That's really just another Russian guy in a suit though, which is, it's nothing I want to see again. I've already seen him fight two dudes in a suit.
The only other thing I could think they could do for Iron Man would be like Technivore, but that's not really a strong villain all by himself.
True. Iron Man, until he was in a movie, he was really an unknown character to, mainstream people. So, unlike Spider-Man, where everyone's like, oh yeah, we all know Venom and stuff like that, or Batman, where everyone knows the Joker, Iron Man, no one really knew the villains. Hell, I only knew, a couple of his villains, of, Mandarin and fucking,
Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash.
I knew Whiplash.
I don't think I knew Whiplash till after that movie. I think I knew Mandarin and I'm trying to think of the other one. I think it was the Crimson Dynamo.
Crimson Train.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But anyways, yeah, I was it's that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show shall be interesting because I think no, I don't know.
Joss Whedon is directing it.
Is he? Okay, I was about to say, I don't know if Josh Whedon's going to be... I don't know if he's...
Yeah, no, Joss Whedon's directing it, so...
Okay, that's good. Well, then, he's made some good TV shows. I don't know about you. Were you ever a fan of Buffy?
I watched it occasionally.
I used to be when I was a little kid, I was with my aunt a lot, and she basically, because her and my sister really liked Buffy, I ended up watching a lot of Buffy, and I thought it was good. Buffy is one of those shows where you can be introduced at any time because honestly, each episode for the most part is just its own standalone thing, where it's just like, oh, they fight this new demon or whatever, and you get introduced to all the characters in that episode, and there might be some shit that you may not understand, but for the most part, you can literally just jump in almost any episode. It was alright. I'm glad they ended it when they did. Because, for fuck's sake, 7 seasons of a show like that, that's quite a bit. I know I say that, but then I'll be upset if even Game of Thrones ends at 7 seasons.
But, and then, that stupid shit they tried to pull with the, 4,000 spin-off shows.
Oh. Well, no, they only have one, of Buffy?
Yeah.
They only had Angel.
It seemed like a lot more.
They had Angel, which was a spin-off show, but I don't know if you're thinking like Joss Whedon's other one where it's Dollhouse, where it had one of the chicks from Buffy, but...
No, I was thinking the blonde vampire dude.
Oh no, he was just in Angel to my knowledge. They threw him in mid-season of Angel, which honestly is gonna sound like blasphemy, but I actually like Angel more than I liked Buffy.
Because he's the anti-hero?
Yeah, well, he was more of the anti-hero, and he actually, honestly, if you ever saw, the second season of Buffy, which honestly is probably my favorite, the dude, when Angel turns into a villain, he is one of those, he's a sick, sadistic motherfucker. He's just I don't give a fuck now, I'm evil again. So, he's laughing, enjoying himself. I'm like, that's your strongest villain right there. Don't keep him for one season. Let's keep him going. Come on, people. Anyways.
But we digress.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we kind of got on a weird tangent with Buffy, but yeah, well, we were talking about Josh Whedon. But anyways. So let's get into some, well, actually first, before we get into our DC talk, I've been still reading Watchmen. I know. How long does it take to read the Watchmen? Well, when I'm doing everything else, it takes me a while.
He reads a page a day, people.
Almost. I can get busy playing video games and watching movies. I just watched Iron Man 1 today. I actually enjoy that a lot more than when I first saw it. But I think I'm going to jump into the Avengers versus X-Men. What other fucking version I have of it. Because apparently from talking to you, I have a different version. So that shall be interesting.
You don't have the story.
I basically have all the fighting, which is really strange to me. I don't know how
all the fighting that goes on outside of the story.
So I'm going to have a different experience. But you know what? I'm excited to see who wins, because this is going to be interesting. Because it's going to be, actually, it's going to be the Thing versus Colossus, did the Colossus turn into Juggernaut at one time?
I don't know.
Or was Juggernaut Colossus? Because this is, I don't know. It shall be interesting seeing, because I do not have
technically, in AVX, there's no winner. Because eventually, as I've told, eventually it turns into Avengers and X-Men versus the Phoenix Five.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm gonna try to look for the one with the story though before anything, so that way I can just, actually know why they're fighting. I mean, you kind of already told me why they're fighting. It's not really that big of a secret, but I guess I'd just like to know in depth. But anyways, talk about that Saga comic.
Yes. Okay. Well, Saga is a sci-fi fantasy comic written by Brian K. Vaughan. For those of you who don't know, he's also the writer for Lost.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I gotta say, he did a fantastic job with this comic. Now, this comic is about the two main characters, the love interest between Alana and the fuck is his name? Marco. And it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing where they're on opposite sides of a war raging on between her planet and his moon that orbits her planet. Mm-hmm. And, so they're the star-crossed lovers that fall in love and have a baby together. And the whole comic is just them on the lam with their newborn baby trying to avoid both sides of the law.
Huh.
And it's told from the perspective of, it's like, their daughter when she grows up. It's her telling the story of what happened.
Oh. So, that kind of leads to, you don't know what's going to happen to the main characters then, type of thing.
Yeah, but the daughter survives.
Yeah.
And grows up.
Well, clearly. That or she's a hologram. Dun, dun, dun!
Nah, she grows up.
Okay.
But it's basically, these two characters were fighting in the war. They were, the girl Alana was a private first class for her army who was stationed at a detention facility, and her now husband Marco is what they call a Moonie. He's basically this man with horns on his head like a mountain ram, like a billy goat, and he gets captured and imprisoned, and she meets him, they fall in love, have a baby together, run off, and just travel the galaxy trying to avoid everyone trying to kill them. Literally everyone wants them dead.
Huh.
Because of, they represent something that's not good for war.
Huh.
And along the way they meet some people like the guy's parents and half of a ghost of a teenage girl.
How is it half of a... is she cut in half or something? Or?
Yeah, it's only her top half. She doesn't have any legs, and her intestines are hanging out everywhere.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is actually it's a very gory and raunchy comic. Yeah. They are not afraid to show blood and bone bits and nudity on both parts.
Yeah, that's all. I remember that from when we were at Dustin's house, flipping through the comic. It was so nude, sex, nude. Holy crap! This is just
There's even a part where they land on a planet to look for the half the little girl, there's a giant fat troll thing with a huge ball sack hanging in your face.
Do they actually do they have to I guess do they fight anything type thing? Do they fight that troll thing in a ball sack or whatever?
And they don't really fight it. They just kind of use a binding spell to trap it, and then they find out the planet they're on is an egg. But there's this one badass bounty hunter in the story named the Will that's chasing them down. Mm-hmm. He gets sidetracked with his own story. But at one point in the story, he grabs this dude by the head and just squeezes till his head explodes.
Oh, con style, yeah. I do have to ask though. So in this universe, because you're mentioning magic and ghosts, but is it a mixture between fantasy and sci-fi?
Yeah, because they're aliens, I guess, but the moon people have ancient magic they can use.
Huh.
But at the same, they have like laser guns and laser swords and shit.
That sounds pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. That does sound pretty.
And and I don't know what the whole thing with the ghost is. I guess they explain it. It's like the planet the ghost girl's from. It's like her planet's defense mode, where when the people die, they just are projected back in the nighttime to defend the planet. And she comes along because she acts as like a tour guide kind of thing, telling them how to get off the planet.
Oh.
But she can only leave the planet if she like gets bonded to someone's soul. So they bond her to the baby's soul, and she they say she turns into the baby, whose name is Hazel. She's like her babysitter.
Huh. That sounds pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. So it's like that does sound like an interesting sci-fi story, like, you know, where they add magic and aliens. Are there humans in this at all, or no?
No. I mean, they're all humanoid looking, but there's no actual. It takes place, you know, some galaxy far, far away.
Long time ago.
No, I'm pretty sure it's in the future.
Oh, well, it can make Star Wars sense where it's a long time ago, but still in the future. And still have humans, actual humans.
I mean, like I said, like, the Will looks pretty humanistic, but everyone else either has basically, the people of the planet that they're fighting on, I think it's called like Freefall or something, have wings, and the people on the moon have horns.
So it's almost an angels versus demons type of thing, kind of like the way they're presenting it.
Yeah.
With like the people with angel wings, and they probably have, she's the one with the psychic powers, right? Or the power.
No, he
is. He is? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and also there's people with TVs for heads. I'm not even, their head is a TV that shows pictures sometimes.
I swear I've seen that somewhere.
And some weird spider bitch who doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah, that's not gonna haunt me. Everyone knows, never fuck a spider. Just because, you know, after they, you know, I'm not gonna get into spider logic. But, okay, so this one book you have, is it the whole story, or is it like part?
It's 2 books, and no, it's just the first 2. It's an ongoing comic series right now.
Oh, okay, so you had like 1 and 2 or whatever?
Yeah, it's volumes 1, so it's basically the first 12 issues.
Okay, that's cool.
So it is, and I'm curious to see how long it goes on, because this is amazing, and, you know, since it is told from the perspective of adult Hazel, I want to know if they, you know, keep it going long enough for her to actually grow up.
That will be interesting. I mean, they have set up an expansive universe they can use in that world, so from what I can tell, from what you're telling me, you know, it's gonna, you know.
Yeah, and it's sad for me because, like, the way the second volume it ended with a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, god damn it.
Oh, I pulled some Game of Thrones on your ass, where it's just like, makes you just want to keep going back. You're like, god damn it, why did you have to stop?
And, you know, the day I got these, I sat down, started reading, and I read all the way through, because I couldn't put it down.
Nice. I have to ask, what issue are they on right now? Do you know?
I don't know. I know Volume 3 is supposed to be coming out in the next few months or so.
Okay, so Volume 2 was the last issue then, or?
Yeah, Volume 2 just came out like a month ago.
Huh. You know, and you know how how you have them in the big old book. We've mentioned this a couple times, but that's how they need to do it from now on. Really, don't ever release just single like 1 issue things.
Okay, that's how they make their money.
Yeah, selling you one little thing for $4, or I could just get the whole thing for like $25, or like at least.
See, you can get one thing. You can get, you know, one thing every week or so for $3, or you can wait 6 months and get all 6 of them.
Yeah, I think they should just release them with all 6, or.
Some people like to just have, you know, the continuous story.
I guess some people, I guess my preference is just.
Besides, it's the same price.
Yeah, regardless, it's the same price. I just, you know, I guess as a guy who just I hate trying to find them, is my whole thing. I mean, unless it's new, it's easier to find. But if it's something like, oh, I want to read the
Well, this comic thing started like not even a year ago.
oh yeah, being that they're only on issue 12 right now, so or
Actually, I think they're on like 16.
well, either way, 16. That's not it's maybe like even if they released an issue a month, it's still not that's a little over a year. Anyways, what would you? I mean.
This is a must
Yeah,
read.
I was like, I don't really do our ABC ratings with these comics because, it's not really, no, I don't think we're gonna run into comics that are just total shit. So you're saying this is a must read though. We'll kind of do that.
Yeah, this is a must. If you like sci-fi fantasy stuff, this is a must read.
I will have to check that out. God, see, Nick.
Hell, you know what? I'll talk to Dustin about it, see if you can borrow them, and then I'll just bring them to work.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, I'm getting more comic you should read this from you, Nick. Than I don't know, maybe if even our listeners are getting that, the whole.
It could when I first heard about this, everyone said it was amazing, but I was kind of skeptical about it. And then I sat down and read it, and I was just like, holy shit.
I don't know, see, like, when we were flipping through it, I saw some of the art style, and I was at that skeptical point where I'm like, I don't know if I would have picked it up, because, like, I don't know when you buy a comic that you never heard of, but the art style really has to sell you, right?
Yeah, but, it's got a good art style.
Alright.
But even like, my Springs comic book handler, like, one day my friend went in and asked for, like, any suggestions, and she actually suggested this one.
Really?
Yeah. Probably because it was, like, brand fucking new when he asked.
True. Alright, awesome. I personally do not have any comics to talk about because, like I said, I'm a slow reader, I guess. I just take forever to finish anything. Granted, Watchmen is a pretty thick fucking thing because it has every issue of the Watchmen in it.
And I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, I feel like given a day, I could read
you probably
like
could.
3 hours.
That's stretching it there. Cause I mean, well, I guess not really because I got through halfway of it just spending an hour with it. It just.
Also, it's a comic. It's not like every page is detailed.
True.
It's pictures.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I do. I will. You know what? I'm making it a goal. I will finish it by next week. Our next Men Without Tights, we will have a whole. Well, actually, I don't want to have a whole Watchmen discussion until after you finish it, and then we can go on and on and on. And then we could be like that late to the party, being like, yeah, we're talking about the Watchmen. Came out in the 80s. Woo! Anyways, time for some DC Comics.
I think we should make a rule right now. When we talk about favorites, it can't. Batman and Joker are off the table.
Yes, I agree with that. Batman and Joker, we're right now, folks, with our favorites. It's Batman and Joker are already at the top, so don't be like, well, you don't mention Batman. No, they're of course they're on everyone's top, unless you're going to be one of those hipster comic guys, which I've met one of them. I got in an argument with a guy that used to work where we work. He worked in electronics, but he wasn't actually, he wasn't actually an input. He was an outsourced third party guy that worked there.
Not important.
He said he did not care for Batman because he's like, he has no powers. I'm like, he can beat literally everybody on the Justice League. But he said he was a fan of Aquaman.
That's right where he goes.
Yeah, okay. I will give people this when they, because I can understand liking Aquaman. I'm not gonna lie. When he actually has his super strength and can, and it runs a kingdom underwater or whatever. I mean, I could see maybe liking him, but of one, him being your favorite, what the fuck? Two, I cannot believe he can have a good story arc. I mean, who gives a shit what happens under the sea? It's under the sea. I want to see him be like, hey, BP, what's with all the oil? Or, New York, can you stop polluting here?
Yeah, I mean, what's so special about Aquaman? He can talk to fish? Big deal. So can SpongeBob.
Yeah. Basically, I do have to say the best interpretation I've seen of Aquaman was that, Injustice.
Mermaid Man? Oh.
Yeah. Injustice, but I do like the whole, I do like the SpongeBob, like, knock on Aquaman, you know, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I do like that. But anyways, yeah, he was trying to argue Aquaman and, you know, I was just like, dude, shut up. And then I said okay, we're gonna get into it right now. One of my favorite superheroes, Superman. I love the shit out of Superman. And people, like, you know, I've read a few, you know, one of the comics I love of Superman is when he's fighting a giant tentacle, one-eyed alien monster. And that's the type of Superman I like to see. Honestly, I don't like the stories of Superman when he fights Lex Luthor because I think those are boring. You know, the brains versus brawn.
Oh. So you like the action comics?
Basically, I think literally the issue I own of Superman where he's fighting that is an action comics. And it is fucking badass. I like him. I wish I like him fighting, like, you know, the latest Superman Man of Steel when he fights Zod. I like just these overpowered beings just knocking each other left and right. Oh my god. That is the type of shit I love. Especially for my comics. I like to see the big action, you know, explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
I like I even like the way his character is though, too. You know, you know, he is like you know, how Captain America is kind of the goody two-shoe of the Marvel one, but he's, you know, Superman's kind of the same thing.
The Boy Scout.
Superman's the Boy Scout of the DC. But, you know, they also have shown what happens if Superman just goes, you know, evil and, like, you know, to Earth 2 or, you know, all that shit. So, yeah, I have to say Superman, he is one of my favorite. And yes, the way his character's set up, you know, like, well, because of our yellow sun, he can do all this stuff. I'm like, really? That doesn't, you know, okay, it's a comic, whatever. What's one of your favorites, Nick?
Nightwing.
Nice. I can agree with you on that. Nightwing.
Yeah, you know, just, he makes gymnastics look cool.
He does. I guess I've never been a fan of younger Robin, but Nightwing, you know, an older Robin, you know, I always thought he was cool. I don't know why. I never read a Nightwing comic though, so I don't really.
I read a few of them. Mm-hmm. Well, the New 52 anyway.
Oh,
but yeah, but granted, I think I read Nightwing's number 0, which is just his origin story, and any ones that were in the story arc of Death of the Family.
All right. Is he So is his comics actually good though? Is he as good as, like, say, Batman comics, or how does he compare?
The few I read were good because it's more light, I guess. It's not, because, like, the Batman comics are pretty fucking dark.
So his is like a darker but more lighthearted version type thing?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like, it's, I don't know, like, it's pretty good.
You know, I'm trying to rattle my brain. I do have to say, I do know one that we can both agree on that we just love, and it's still within the Batman Nightwing type of universe there. And you already know, you already know who I'm about to say. It's the Red fucking Hood.
Yeah, I was saving that for, you know, that's the anti-hero.
Yeah, okay, we'll save him and talk about him when we get to the anti-hero phase. Hero-wise, let's see here. Who else is a great hero in my opinion? Oh, I like the Flash. You know, I do too.
I didn't used to, but his character's grown on me. I'm not the biggest fan of his powers, but just his personality.
Yeah, I have never read a Flash comic. I'm not gonna lie. I've never read one of his comics because I can't even name you one of his, you know, villains.
I know the Mirror dude.
The Mirror dude?
Yeah, the dude that can, like, jump in and out of mirrors and shit.
Thinking about who you're talking about. Yeah, I think I know who it is. Yeah.
He was in that Justice League Doom movie.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I like the Flash's personality. he has a great personality. I just like how he is, and he's kind of the horn dog of the Justice League, which always makes me happy. Trying to always hit on Wonder Woman and stuff, and he's just a fun character. He's I personally like him. Who do you like? Or another one if you got another.
I like Martian Manhunter.
Okay, see, this is where we're gonna disagree right there. I think Martian Manhunter really is, I don't like him. Let's just put it that way. I think he's kind of pathetic.
I mean, he's kind of a boring character, but I like his powers.
He's kind of a pathetic character though, cause all the time he's getting his ass kicked. Yeah, I mean, he has the powers to turn invisible and shapeshift, and yet somehow the villains always can tell. I don't know. I never found him to be that interesting too, cause he is kind of he really is like the Vision of the DC universe, where he's just kind of this.
Yeah. No, fuck Vision. No, fuck that.
I do. See, if we're going on dislikes, I'm throwing Martian Manhunter in my dislike pile.
Yeah. Also, taking a little, different approach, I will say, and this is not one specific character, but it is one I bet you will agree with. The Losers.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Losers arc, that one is interesting because it did start out as a World War II comic, and then they switched it to modern day. And the modern day one, from what I hear, is much better, of course, than the World War II one. And all I know is I like the movie, and the Jensen character, even in the comics, is just the best.
But let's not forget about the unsung hero of the DC universe, Alfred. No,
wait, who? Oh, Alfred. Alfred is awesome if he's the sarcastic Alfred. I don't know. I always thought Alfred. He was cool. I actually like the Green Arrow.
See, this
is where you throw him in your pile.
I mean, he's okay, but it's been done.
Of course it's been done. I don't know who came first, Green Arrow or Hawkeye, but they're essentially pretty damn close to the same character. But I do like Green Arrow.
Fucking, Robin Hood, Legolas, I don't know.
I do like Green Arrow because he just does go for the more down-to-earth characters. I mean, he still has his villain, the one that can, another base.
Oh, you mean Red Arrow?
I was about to say the Red Arrow is essentially just him, but different. He's another one of those characters where I just like his personality. I just like how he is. And yeah, he does have some ridiculous things, like with the boxing glove on top of the arrow or something. And that is ridiculous, but it was just one of those things where I've always liked him for whatever reason. You got another one you like?
Hero? Nah, I don't think so.
I'm trying to think if I have any heroes. Let's get into, we'll just go down the line. We'll go into, okay, what heroes annoy us? I mean, we already got two. I have mine as Martian Manhunter, and you have yours as, Green Arrow. What heroes kind of drive you nuts?
Hawk Girl.
Okay, yeah. Some bitch from another planet who has wings, yay! Yeah, she's like the Falcon in this universe. I'm not gonna lie. A useless, pointless fucking character. I don't
it's, actually, all the Hawk people, even Hawkman pisses me off.
People. Honestly, when your only power is that you have the ability to fly, that's, fuck you. Superman can fly, Wonder Woman can fly, a Green Lantern can fly. You're nothing special. You just have wings.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Angel, in the Marvel Universe.
You, Angel, you, Falcon, you, Hawk Girl, man, Hawk people. I have to go, let's see, I'm trying to think of, honestly, who I just really can't stand, and this is gonna be kind of a weird one. Actually, it's not weird. I don't like Catwoman or Harley Quinn. Like, Catwoman I could get used to for a little bit, but Harley Quinn I cannot stand.
See, I don't mind Harley. Although I do like how, in the Justice League of America comics, they killed Catwoman off. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I understand I went with a villain there, but I was trying to think of a hero I couldn't stand, and I kind of used my one. I guess the squirrel that becomes a Green Lantern, I thought that was kind of stupid. I mean, if we're gonna go with the ones that I thought were just ridiculously stupid. No! I know! The Wonder Twins! Or maybe Apache Chief.
Or the Steel Banjo or Banjo Man, whatever the fuck that is. The dude whose powers he plays the banjo.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
But again, that's a villain.
Honestly, I don't even know. Were the Wonder Twins and Apache Chief, were they actually in a comic? Or are they just something made for Super Friends? Because I only remember them from Super Friends. I'm like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Can you think of anything that hasn't referenced the Wonder Twins at some point in its time or another?
I mean, granted, it's fun to make fun of. I mean, back I had a computer class, where I had to make a bunch of PowerPoints. And for no fucking reason at all, I would throw so many Super Friends things in the background for no reason. I'd have Apache Chief just sitting there, and hey, Chuck! And I'm just like, Or I'd have the Wonder Twins, one as a bucket and one as like an eagle or something. I would, those are...
I never understood that with the one of like the girl always turns into something useful, and the boys always just like bucket of water.
Be like, I'm gonna turn into an animal, and the boy's like, I'm gonna turn into a mop. He's like, really? You can't just turn into a gun?
I'm gonna mop the floor with them.
Can't. I just wish like the mop would be there or something. He's like, I'm helping, and someone just takes the mop, smashes a villain with it, breaks in half. He's like, oh my god, why did I choose such a flimsy thing? Those are the characters that actually annoy me. I don't know if they're actually in the comics. People I could look it up, but I'm not going to because I've done it a couple times where I look up shit on the show and that just turns into quiet while I'm just like, and I'm like, I don't like doing that. So, anyways, let's go into best anti-hero. We've already mentioned one, the Red Hood.
Yes, the greatest anti-hero in the DC universe of all.
He is up there with some of my favorite anti-heroes in general. I mean, talk about a guy just with basically Robin who, was killed, comes back to life and just wants revenge. And he actually has a point where I can understand where he's getting at, where he's like, why don't we kill people like the Joker? Why don't we kill, these, he's like, he says basically, I'm not talking about killing everybody. I'm not saying hey, loiterer, let's get him. Bang, bang, bang. He's that tough.
Yeah, especially, nowadays in the comics where he's actually teamed up with the Starfire from the Teen Titans. Yeah.
The hell she?
Yeah, she's not in the Teen Titans. She's in the Outlaws.
I have to say, another character that kind of annoyed me, superhero-wise, Starfire. I never liked her.
Ooh, that does. I actually was a fan of Cyborg.
Cyborg was cool. I agree. I like Cyborg. I like how he is. I mean, sometimes he could be a little bit stereotypical. I also, actually, anti-hero wise, I kind of like Raven.
I do like Raven too. The whole daughter of the devil thing.
Her whole goal. I mean, she may play as a good guy, but her whole goal is to bring back her father. And I'm just like. Yeah,
and actually, in like, I know I read a Suicide Squad comic once where they were talking about like Raven coming back, and she's just pure evil at this point in the comics.
That is awesome.
Yeah. She hasn't adopted her human side yet. She's just pure evil. Let me ask you,
Nick, do you like the Teen Titans as Teen Titans, or do you like them when they're all grown up?
I like the Teen Titans.
I'm kind of with you. I do like them as Teen Titans for whatever reason.
But what I don't like is, 5th grade Titans. Okay. That they have that stupid shit now.
I agree with that too. 5th grade Titans and it's weird Japanese animation where it's like, what the fuck? Who also, you may count him as an anti-hero, you might count him as a villain. Really depends what line he falls on. Deathstroke.
Yeah, because he's just really a mercenary.
So, I mean, when we were at Comic-Con, I almost bought issues number 0 of the New 52 for Deathstroke. I was about to start getting it, see if I could just, I was just going to start reading his shit, but I still might do that, because, he was a character I didn't even know really until this last year of like, wow, I didn't realize this guy is that badass, And then.
He is, the main point of Deadpool.
Yeah, I do remember you saying, like, Deadpool literally is just a parody of him, but, as Deathstroke, I like him a lot because he's he's cold, calculated killer. Like, he knows how to do a lot of, he's actually a challenge for, well, I guess he was partly a Teen Titan villain and partly, other villains. But, he's an excellent character just because you can literally throw him in a lot of comics. I would never throw him in a Superman comic because
Yeah, it's because Superman would just be like, dude.
Oh, what are you gonna get me with your...
Let's go for a ride up to, the moon.
What are you gonna use, your bullets? How about that metal sword? Come on, come at me. What are you gonna do?
I don't know, I feel like he's smart enough to, coat his bullets with kryptonite and have a kryptonite sword.
I think he is smart enough to, that's why it makes him, in my opinion, a good Batman villain. Because both him and Batman are both, smart guys who know how to, on the spur of the moment, react, try to beat somebody, they know how to, they're really good thinkers and good martial artists. So that'd be an interesting fight, which also makes me kind of excited for that, Arkham Origins game. Just having those two fight each other for once. Let's see, what's another good anti-hero? I would say, let's get into anti-heroes we don't like, but there ain't many of them.
I think anti-hero I don't like would be Catwoman.
Yeah, she's an anti-hero I don't really care for. I really just do not, I don't know why, maybe she just kind of annoys me, because really, her only story arc, in my opinion, is, am I Batman's love interest? Maybe, let's see. I am right now. Wait, now I'm betraying him. Now I am. No, I'm not. It's like, pick a side. I'm annoyed with you. Alright, so let's get into the villains. Of course, Joker's excluded. Let's go, your favorite villain. One of them.
I would probably go Deadshot.
Oh, I like Deadshot. He actually is a pretty sad of a character if you think about it. Just because the whole time he actually just he's suicidal, but the only way he wants to get killed is by having Batman kill him. And I was like, God, that's messed up. But I do like him. I think I'm going to talk about another mercenary, but he's never really a merc that's good. Let's put it that way.
No, he's bad.
He's always, I have never seen or even heard about him being a good mercenary, so he's kind of like what he is, and I've been noticing this a lot now since I'm getting more into the comics he literally is the bullseye, or whoever came first, where he's a merc, but he's never good. And he never misses, except for with Batman for whatever reason. I have to say with my villains, I'm gonna go with Darkseid. I fucking love Darkseid. And that's another one of those reasons why I like Superman. When he has a villain like Darkseid who's just this, he's this powerful alien. He's just a powerful alien. Oh my god. Those two, when they fight. And I just love the ever-living shit out of it. I get excited when those two fight up. All I can say is, he's typical, evil ruler, so it's not that I can really add to his character. He's the typical, I will destroy you all, ha! But he's just a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. And also, I like Nightfall Bane.
Oh, yeah. I just like Bane in general. I like all Banes. Except, no, I don't.
So even bumbling luchador idiot Bane?
No, I don't. I like Nolan Bane and Nightfall Bane. And even the Bane that looks like it's coming in Origins looks better. And, cause even in Arkham, they didn't really do Bane right because he was just bumbling idiot Bane. And I'm like, it's not really Bane. Bane is actually, he's a smart motherfucker. I mean, Nightfall, the reason why I want to read that is I want to read the whole story arc. When when Bane is first introduced, he releases all the villains, Batman's taking all the villains out, and when Batman's weak and, beaten down, that's when Bane comes in and beats the fuck out of him. Oh, I just did think of another anti-hero. Azrael?
Azrael?
I know. Yeah,
So watch out.
I like that guy. That guy he just looks cool. He even becomes Batman for a little while. I mean, that's awesome. Except for he kind of does Red Hood Batman, where I think he starts killing people, which, that's what makes him more of the anti-hero. But yeah, that makes me, I want to read some of his comics because that guy is just awesome. Anyways, back with villains. I do like a lot. I like the Nolan Bane, even though he doesn't have the Venom or anything. He's still smart and stuff. Except for the only thing I didn't care for is the whole League of Shadows thing. Speaking of League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul or Raz al Ghul or however the fuck you pronounce his goddamn name.
I don't know. Roz sounds
it looks
better
how it's
to
supposed
me.
to be spelled, being that he doesn't have an H in there.
Yeah, it is some weird, like, Middle Eastern thing, though, so. But it's still. Ra's al Ghul.
Raz al Ghul. I like how he is, how he technically can't be killed, really. And really, he's not really a big villain. He's just trying to,
He's the League of Shadows. He's working in the shadows.
In the shadows. He's literally just trying to rid the world of evil by doing it in horrible means, which makes Batman have to stop him. And I like that. I like the way he does things. So I'm a big fan of Raz, or Raz, whatever the fuck his name is again. Who's the villain you like?
I do enjoy. Hold on, I lost track of their name. Give me a second. Going, on side note of Darkseid, I do like Doomsday.
Is pretty badass. I mean, the only, one of the few villains, to my knowledge, that was able to even kill Superman. Also, I just thought of another anti-hero. The Elite. I mean, they're kind of a group, but I like the Elite.
Yeah,
the Elite are badass. And, I just thought about them. We actually, me and Nick and Nikki G talked about the Superman versus the Elite, this Sunday. And I was just like, that I agree. That the Elite are just fucking awesome. I just, I love how I just keep thinking of these anti-heroes sometimes. I do have to say, this one you might disagree with me on. I do like Scarecrow. I like Scarecrow. I'm a fan of Scarecrow. I just like the way he tries to, basically because with him, he likes to fuck with your mind the whole time.
He's Freddy Krueger.
Really, actually, some versions of him almost damn near look like Freddy Krueger.
We're talking about you, Arkham City.
And with the, to my knowledge, with the new 52, a lot of the shit they did in Arkham is what they look like now.
Yeah.
I was always a big fan of him. I even like Solomon Grundy for the most part. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I just like him because he's just one of those powerhouses that come in. I mean, he's a villain that everybody fights also. This one also, I'm quite amazed I like him myself. I like Brainiac and Sinestro.
Yeah, I don't really like Sinestro.
See, I like...
But then I'm not the biggest Green
Lantern fan,
so.
but I do like a fallen hero story. The once great hero, he was, before Hal Jordan came in, Sinestro, was the top of the line guy. He was like, yeah, I'm the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep me down. And then all of a sudden, Hal Jordan comes in, starts shitting on him, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I'm gonna try the yellow.
Actually, I just thought of another anti-hero we completely forgot about. Rorschach.
I guess that is DC. What do you know? Yeah, I agree. Rorschach, yes. I want to save all the talking about Rorschach when we do our Watchmen talk because fucking A, we can go on forever talking about that asshole. Yeah, even the comedian, if we're going with it. We are, I did forget, we are just going with, just DC in general, not just, the DC, that one universe where the Justice League live. I have to say I already mentioned one of my least favorite villains though, Harley Quinn. I'm trying to...
Yeah, I actually like Harley, because she's just batshit insane.
See, if
and
I'm
obsessed.
gonna go with batshit insane, I'm gonna go with the Joker, of course, but...
Yeah, well, if we can't talk about the Joker, then, Harley. Also, I don't like the Penguin.
Okay, yeah, I don't like
I
the
don't like
Penguin
him.
either. I agree with that. I have one issue with the Penguin in it of Batman, and that is boring as fuck. I'm sorry, Penguin is a boring as hell character. I'll admit, in the Arkham game, he actually is a little bit more interesting because, you know...
But then, I can't take him seriously after Danny DeVito.
The Danny, that's fuck, no, see, I am trying to block out the Tim Burton Batmans as much as I can. They messed up the Joker by making, Jack Nicholson not really that crazy. I was like, well, he's not even that crazy. I mean, he sometimes makes some jokes, but he's not the Joker. And then the Two-Face was okay. The only one I thought was actually good, and people disagree with me on, is the Riddler.
Yes. That's another villain I do actually like.
I like the guy who's actually smarter than Batman, but underestimates Batman each and every time. He's like, let's...
But I didn't really, I like Jim Carrey's take on the Riddler, but I like the, Arkham Riddler
I like
more.
Jim Carrey's take because I'm just kind of a Jim Carrey whore for the most part, where I like a lot of what Jim Carrey does. Let's see, I'm trying to think of one I can't stand. Ooh.
I don't like Black Adam.
Yeah, Black Adam's pretty lame. And you know what, on the superhero side, I have to say, Shazam or Captain Marvel or whatever. I think he's actually Shazam at this point. I think in the new 52, they just call him Shazam. They don't call him Captain Marvel. But yeah, I don't like him as a hero. I think he's pretty lame. Like a little kid who just says Shazam and turns into the magical being. I'm just like, and Black Adam's the same way. I think Black Adam's just kind of boring.
And the Phantom Spectre, or whatever the fuck he is.
Oh, another hero or anti-hero I don't like. I did find one anti-hero I don't like. Jonah Hex.
Yeah, okay. Fuck that noise.
He really is just I was like, hey, you're just like messed up looking Clint Eastwood. But wait, Clint Eastwood's way better than you. Oh my god.
Because it's fucking Clint Eastwood.
Guess what? He started it, not you. Oh my god. And generic fucking asshole. Really, with that Jonah Hex movie I saw, the only saving grace from it was, what's his name? He's Magneto right now. Michael Fassbender being the crazy Irish dude. And I'm not judging, whatchamacallit? What's his face? Jonah Hex off of that movie. So I don't want people thinking, well, you just saw the movie, that's why you don't like. No. I've seen more than just that, just to make me say, yeah, Jonah Hex really ain't shit. I'm trying to, but villain-wise, I guess just regular robbers always piss me off as a villain, because I'm just like, that's not a villain. Get that shit.
Mad Hatter. I don't like the Mad Hatter.
Hatter's kind of dumb. I'm actually not the biggest fan of Lex Luthor, as I pointed out.
I don't mind him. When they don't fucking ruin him like they did in the Superman movies.
I'm not like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. He's not my dislike pile. He's just kind of there. And I'm just like, alright, yeah, I know you're Superman's biggest foe and whatever. I like it more when he teams up with other villains, I guess you could say. Because then it shows how he kind of uses them.
And from the League of Evil.
The League of Evil. You know what? I know a villain I hate. Every Wonder Woman villain.
Dude.
Every Aquaman. God damn it! With superheroes we hate, we didn't say Aquaman? What the fuck is wrong with us?
I think, talking before it was just kind of implied that we don't like Aquaman.
Yeah, hero I can't stand is Aquaman. His villains I can't stand. His whole story arc I don't like. I don't like anything about him.
I thought he was kind of cool in the Justice League when he, grew out his hair and got the nice goatee. That Aquaman's okay.
I don't like Aquaman.
I'm just saying, in the Justice League, yes, he's still the weak character, but in the Justice League, he was okay.
Or Wonder Woman, I'm not the biggest fan of her or her villains, but because, I think, if I ever saw Wonder Woman, I'm gonna get a little jealous of, but she really just, she's really kind of,
woman's rights.
She's kind of that annoying chick that says, anything men is bad for a while. Granted, she's not as bad as some of her people who live on the Amazon area. I really don't know what that place is called, so that's why I just called it Amazon, but.
It's some weird Greek name.
I know a lot of her
that.
villains are Greek villains, and then also that cheetah bitch. I think she's pretty piss poor of a villain.
Yeah, because it's just Chitara.
Basically, Chitara decided to jump in the DC universe. All right, we're coming up on an hour, so I don't know. I would say what's going up for next week. I don't know what we're going to talk about. You know what we're going to talk about next week?
If they're even. Nope.
A superhero, basically, we're going to do that old bar thing, who would want to fight? And we're going to do that. We're gonna, since I was looking at that X-Men thing, I was like, that'd be a novel idea, who'd win in a fight between so-and-so and so-and-so. And so we're gonna do that a little bit.
I'm guessing Universe Crossing is okay?
Sure. We're gonna do Universe Crossing. Actually, we're gonna only do Universe Crossing. We're not gonna be who would win in a fight, Captain America or Cyclops. No. We're gonna it has to be Universe Crossing. So we're gonna be who would win a fight, Captain America or Batman. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to discuss all we know about the character, and then we'll try to come to an agreement on who would win. I think that ought to be interesting.
Our very own death battle!
We have animation skills. That's our show. Like us on Facebook, visit our site. I'm not going to say the title of our site anymore, because you should know. You've been listening to Men Without Tights. If you have a comic you'd like to recommend us to read, let us know, because I'm always open for suggestions with comics, because honestly, when you go into a comic shop, I haven't read probably 98% of them, so yeah, I'm all for it. Let me know, guys. Put in the comment section. That's it. I don't want to ask the